joined by UConn coach T.J. Weist. The Huskies are 0-7 overall, 0-3 in the American. Coming off an open date this past week, UConn is in action Friday against Louisville. That will be at Rentschler Field, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time start on ESPN2. Coach, I know you just got done wrapping up with your local group, so if you would take a minute to just tell us how your open date went, and then we'll throw it open for questions and let you know what you expect to see against Louisville Friday.
Well, I think we had a great off week, obviously working on fundamentals and going against each other, ones-on-ones, twos-on-twos, and really picking up the speed of the game. But I think, our team is really looking forward to playing one of the best teams in the country on Friday night, to playing a defense that's ranked, in the top 2 in 5 different categories, and it's a great challenge for us. We think we've got a great opportunity at home to really make a step up and get a win, really execute from that standpoint. It's a great challenge playing this team that's very well coached, really got great athletes, and I think they're hungry after a loss 2 weeks ago to one of the better teams in the league in Central Florida, and we're just looking forward to this battle.
We'll take questions for Coach Weist. Please hit *1 on your telephone to join the queue, and then the operator will introduce you. And again, that's *1 for questions, please, for Coach Weist.
And we'll take a question from Jeff Greer with the Courier-Journal, Louisville.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for having us. Obviously, last year, a huge part of what you guys did successfully was get to the passer and stop the run. How can you kind of replicate that defensive performance last year and keep Louisville's offense off the field?
Well, I think having a lot of draft picks on that defense last year made a difference. I think we kept him out of rhythm. I think that's the biggest thing. This is the number 1 offense in the country on third down conversions, and number 2 in the country in pass efficiency. And if they get rolling, if they get into a good rhythm, it's hard to stop them. So I think that, like any good defense, you want to disrupt the quarterback. You want to disrupt that rhythm and really find ways to get after them, whether it's just up-front pressure or blitzes or different looks or things like that. So, that doesn't change. What we did last year really doesn't matter because some of those guys aren't here. Some of it's a different situation. It's different team that we're facing. But, this is one of the better offenses in the country, and we just got to put pressure on this quarterback no matter what.
How can you limit Dominic Brown, who had a breakout game last week for running back for them and kind of showed a hard running style?
Tackle him. Got to get him on the ground. That's the biggest thing. You see him breaking tackles. He's a hard runner. He's a physical runner. We just got to get him on the ground. That's what it comes down to. Put our guys in the right positions, and can't be out of position from that standpoint. It's just the same old thing in football. You got to get off blocks and you got to make tackles, and that's the only way you can stop them.
Last thing then for me is for you guys. Obviously, this has been a very challenging fall and struggling. And how do you get a team? I guess when you're playing a big time program like this, it's not too hard to get them up. But what has it been like with these guys the past couple of days as they're preparing for Louisville?
We got to keep them focused. It's easy to say they're going to be hyped up and they're going to have a lot of energy and all those things, but it all comes down to making plays on the football field. It all comes down to execution. So we've got to use that hype. We've got to use that momentum, use that mentality and that energy to make plays. Because when you turn the film on, that's what matters. It doesn't matter how hyped up you are. It doesn't matter, how everything is on the sideline. It's all what happens on the football field. So, yeah, it's going to be a great situation. Both teams are going to be fired up. I think Louisville's hungry, but they're coming into our place, and we've got to go out and just execute on offense, defense, and special teams and use that energy.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
And we'll move on to Christopher Heidel with Herb FM Radio.
Hey, Coach. What's been the struggle for you guys this year? I know you guys are 0-7. You almost beat Michigan. So what do you guys have to work on this week against a very top team in Louisville?
We have to not beat ourselves with turnovers and missed assignments and anything that really stops any kind of momentum that we have. Against a team like this, we've got to stop their momentum. We've got to create our own momentum and keep drives alive and not make the mistakes that really will kill any team, especially turnovers. That's the biggest thing. We got to force turnovers, and we can't turn the football over. If we can do that, then we'll have a chance.
What type of quarterback is Teddy Bridgewater up close and personal?
The impressive thing about him is he's very efficient. And it's easy to say because you look at their number 2 in the country in pass efficiency and all that, but he makes sound decisions. He's a great passer. He's accurate, right? But you can see him in his leadership on the field with the way he makes decisions, the way he leads the team down the field, the way at times he has to pull it down and run with it, and other times just pull up and throw it and get it to the right guys or drop it down. Go through his progressions. You always look at a quarterback and say, how well does he progress through any kind of pass concept? And he goes through, you can see that he goes through his progressions. He gets the ball to the right players, which makes him efficient. But even more impressive, he's most efficient in the probably the most critical category in football, which is third down conversion. They're the number 1 in the country in offense and defense in both those categories. And I think that's impressive for any quarterback because that's the quarterback that makes the decision right there on third down. So that's probably the thing that people say he's athletic, but he's smarter. He's smarter than most quarterbacks in the country.
Well, good luck on Friday night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And do we have any other questions for Coach Weist, please? And, Coach, well, thank you for your time this week. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and that is UConn coach T.J. Weist. The Huskies against Louisville Friday at Rentschler Field, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time start on ESPN2.